Yesterday, the Dodgers' Clayton Kershaw dominated the Minnesota Twins. The three-time Cy Young Award winner tossed 7 perfect innings, 80 pitches. And in an era where everybody's swinging for the fences at almost every at-bat, no-hitters are a little more commonplace, the perfect game, still a rare feat. There have been 23 perfect games in baseball history. Kershaw had a great chance to make it 24, but Dave Roberts decided to pull his pitcher and go to the bullpen. Here's Dave Roberts with that decision.
Every decision I make is for the best interest of the player, their health, and the ball club, because there's a lot of people that are cheering for the Dodgers, not only just for today and Clayton to throw a no-hitter, but for the Dodgers to win the World Series. And for us to do that, we need him healthy. All
right. So the analytics run the game. And when you're dealing with somebody with an injury history, Kershaw has a load management there, and understandably so. It was fun yesterday to watch that, but a singular game in April is not going to help L.A. with the bigger picture. Their bigger goal is the World Series. Keeping Kershaw healthy is going to at least help you get closer to that goal. Keep this in mind. In 2021, last season, Kershaw had 22 starts. He threw 100 or more pitches 4 of the 22 starts. In 11 of the starts, 90 or more pitches. The last 5 starts of the season, and this is what's important, 54, 50, 74, 73, 42. And go back to October 1st when he started to have elbow issues, his left forearm. He had discomfort in the second inning, game against Milwaukee. And he was on the injured list from July 4th to September 12th. Now, you got to factor that in. Do we want to see a perfect game? Yes. That's what we all want to see. I'm sure Dave Roberts wanted to see that. Clayton Kershaw wanted to see that. But I have to be realistic here of what I'm asking from an athlete here. Here is Clayton Kershaw on Dave Roberts' decision to pull him from last night's game.
Yeah, I mean, I knew going in that my pitch count wasn't going to be 100, let alone, 90 or whatever. So it's a hard thing to do, to have to come out of a game when you're doing that. But like I said, we're here to win, and that this was the right choice.
Yeah, because I have to look at his injury history. Do I want him out there? Yes. Now, at what point do you go, okay, now he's pitched 92 pitches. Number 93. Now what? Now, if he's completely healthy, I would still have some questions because of what happened, what has happened with him before. And if you put, and keep in mind, it was a truncated spring training. He didn't get a chance to throw even 100 pitches. We had him in spring training. He talked about, we don't have time to get ready. We need extra time. He threw, 70, 75 pitches in spring training? We want to see magic. We want to see this. We want to see history. As much as, that's the entertainer. You want to be entertained here. But also, what would we be talking about if Clayton Kershaw maybe threw 95 pitches and all of a sudden had soreness in his elbow today? What would we say? What's Dave Roberts thinking? You can't win a World Series in April, but you can lose one. I mean, you just don't want that. Yes, Clayton Kershaw, who has a no-hitter, one of the great no-hitters, dominant performances in history, didn't get a perfect game. Who disagrees with Dave Roberts? Oh, Fritzy?
Do you think it would have changed his mind at all if they were at Dodger Stadium, even like a little bit, to let it go a little longer?
I guess I'd factor that in, but it's still the number of pitches. I would want to know, the person I want to talk to is not the pitcher. I want to talk to the catcher. And I would just say, how's velocity? How's location? All of those things, because he was brilliant. But I would want to know. I want the catcher to make sure that the catcher is telling me what I want to hear, the truth, honesty. Then you have to ask Kershaw, how do you feel? Now let's look at this bigger picture. How do you feel? Because I'll leave you in till you give up a base hit. How's that? That's our goal. I don't want you throwing anything over 95. Promise me you won't do that, and I'll leave you in, and maybe we get a perfect game. Yeah, Paulie.
I'm really torn on this one because it's like a sliding scale of soft or smart. It definitely is the smart decision. There's no doubt about it. But how much danger was there to 2 more innings and 25 more pitches. Again, like you said, if it went the other way today, that's the tough part for me. It is the smart decision. It's factually the smart decision. But it also feels like we're in a culture of over-babying everybody.
Well, I also have to factor in how many injuries you've had, how many surgeries you've had, how much time have you missed. I have to at least factor that in. There are times when you see, let's say Michael Jordan broke his foot at the start of this season, and he's his second year in the league. Let's say he's Zion Williamson, which is very similar. Mike came back. They lost to the Celtics, but he did put up 63 points in the playoffs in the Boston Garden. Was it a smart decision? Didn't seem like it. Hey, Mike still wants to play. You can't have him play. And then he comes back, he wants to play. What athletes used to do and what they do now, they look at this and they go, it's about longevity. How long do I stretch out my career? Instead of, I'm going to go as hard as I can for as long as I can, and then whatever happens, I've left it all on the playing field. I mean, that was our philosophy growing up. Yes, Todd.
I know they count the number of pitches, but if he's that fragile or they think he's that fragile, why is he even out there for 7 innings, even if he hasn't thrown that many pitches? In this day and age, starters go 4 or 5 innings. They got a middle reliever. They got a setup and a closer. I would question that too. 7 innings seems like a lot for someone that they think at any moment could blow out his elbow.
But if I said 80 pitches, not 7 innings, 80 pitches.
And why is that the magic number? I guess they figured this out and add it up and calculate things. But what's it like Paulie was saying? What's the 83 pitches versus 88 or 94 pitches? Could be the difference in losing him for months or the season? I don't know.
I think it was just that was the number. It could have been 84 pitches. But I think they let him close out the inning, and then they decided they weren't going to send him back out there for the 8th inning. Yeah, Paul.
Well, if you watch the replay, when they go to pull Kershaw, his face is more like, I get it. Like he understood it in the moment. Like he doesn't seem mad. He's not yelling. He's not throwing his mitt. He's a smart enough guy, and he's definitely a veteran who has a ring, by the way. He didn't seem upset. It felt like, oh shucks.
We thought he might have Tommy John surgery. We thought that with that injury, when it happened in the offseason, then he would have been done for this year. Wouldn't have pitched. So Dave Roberts knows the situation far better than we do. As a fan, I was like, you can't take him out. Wait, it's 80 pitches. And maybe, at the end of the season, we look back and we go, oh, remember when everybody was complaining that you were going to leave Kershaw in? Why didn't you? And then they win a World Series. That is the bigger picture for them. For us, it's not. We want the entertainment. So we're selfish. But we're not the one that has to live with surgery, discomfort, these kind of decisions. Yes, Eden.
Well, even Clayton Kershaw postgame was like the last 2 innings, my slider was garbage. It had no bite, and it was definitely time to take me out. So he on the mound knew, like, this, I'm already losing it.
Yeah. Is it the right decision? I think Kershaw was doing his best to back up his manager. That's one of those where you can't say, hey, you're not taking me out of this game. Hey, you can talk to me, but I want to complete this. I'll never have this chance again. But it was a marvelous performance by him. What do you have? 13 strikeouts of the 21 batters who he faced. That's pretty dominant. All right, what do we have poll question-wise?
Perfect segue, Dan, as
Okay.
you always do. So we're going to do a series of poll questions today that are called Smart or Soft.
Okay.
Such as polling Clayton Kershaw was more smart or soft?
More.
Not 100%, but if it's tipping 60-40.
Here's something for you. Fire up stat of the day music.
Start of the day! Start of the day! Start of the day! Start of the day! Here comes the stat of the day!
Clayton Kershaw is the second player in baseball history to throw 7 or more perfect innings, only to be removed from the start with the perfect game still intact. There's one other pitcher in baseball history who went at least 7 innings and had a perfect game.
Oh, no. What did we just witness?
Wow.
What just happened?
You know what? I blew right through the stop sign. I wasn't listening to the music.
Yeah, third base coach was
No,
waving you.
I know. No, he's
There, yeah, he's
telling me to
giving you
stop.
the stop sign.
I'm going around third. Here I come. Marvin, let me try this again. Hit the music.
Start of the day. Start of the day. Start of the day. Start of the day. Here comes the start of the day.
Clayton Kershaw, the second pitcher in baseball history to throw a 7-inning perfect game to be removed from the start while the perfect game was still intact. The other pitcher in baseball history, Rich Hill, also removed by Dave Roberts in a game in 2016. That's your stat of the day.
Start of the day. Start of the day.
Woo!
Start of the day. Start of the day. Here comes the start of the day.
Rich Hill went 7 perfect innings, 89 pitches, and he was pulled. That was a game against the Marlins. Yes, Paulie.
Dave Roberts has broken up more perfect games as a manager than as a hitter.
All right, that'll be the poll question. And, there were a lot of people who were looking at this going, baseball needs memories. We're getting cheated by memories. Everything's a pitch count. Everything's analytics. I get it. This, to me, is different because Kershaw, his age, his injury history, what he did those last 5 starts. Once again, I'll say that one more time. 54 pitches, 50, 74, 73, 42. He's trending in the wrong direction there. And even he said, I wasn't as sharp as I should have been. He got into the 6th and 7th inning. Would I like to have seen it? Absolutely. What would we be saying today if all of a sudden he had discomfort in that left forearm?